This is the Weekend Hustle. Everything you missed this past week we thought you should know. Brought to you by The First Read.
Media mogul Byron Allen has extended yet another multi-billion-dollar takeover offer. This time a $14.3 billion bid for film and TV giant Paramount Global, parent of the CBS broadcast network, and cable outlets like Nickelodeon. Last year, he tried to acquire BET from the company, but Paramount chose not to sell. Representative Cori Bush confirmed Tuesday that the Department of Justice is investigating her campaign's spending on security services. The St. Louis Democrat says she retained her now husband as part of her security team and claims he is able to provide services at or below market rate. Bush says she is fully cooperating.
Yeah, so prior to me entering Congress, I had a lot of threats on my life. I had even had times where there were actual, attempts made.
Yeah.
And I went to social media to talk about them because I didn't feel safe going anywhere else. So I would talk about what was happening to me on social media,
Sure.
Even turned it into the FBI at one point, just making it documented that there are actual, threats on my life, attempts on my life. But even before I entered Congress, during orientation, I went to the House and talked about, hey, this is what I'm experiencing now.
Yeah.
Is there a way for you all to keep me safe in Congress?
A group of more than 1,000 black pastors are imploring President Joe Biden to declare a ceasefire in Gaza. The coalition views the conflict as a humanitarian crisis and is urging the Biden administration to call for an end to the violence. Also, they are calling for Israel to end its occupation of the West Bank and for the release of hostages held by Hamas. In the third largest city in the country, Chicago's City Council narrowly approved a resolution Wednesday calling for a permanent ceasefire in the war between Israel and Hamas, with Mayor Brandon Johnson casting the tie-breaking vote. Chicago is the latest U.S. city to approve such a non-binding resolution, following Atlanta, Detroit, and San Francisco in recent months.
There's no way that we can just limit this conversation to our group text. We have to stand. We have to say something. We have too many people who believe in us for us to be poor stewards of our leadership responsibility. And then on top of that, many of us have inroads in the administration. And so we asked for a meeting with the administration so that we could express our concerns in a way that was respectful, but at the same time reflecting a sense of urgency over what we consider to be a state of emergency.
You mentioned that a number of pastors have met with the administration. Who they meet with?
Right, it was representatives from the administration. It was not the president himself, but representatives, those who I would say are, they have authority, but of course they are representatives. We felt we were heard, but at the same time, we felt that in the aftermath of the meeting, business as usual continued. And so given that, we felt that the only thing we had to do now was to look for ways to exert as much pressure as we could from a moral perspective, because that basically is what we are doing. You mentioned the 1,000 pastors whose names were in the New York Times. Since that particular piece occurred, I cannot tell you how many other pastors said, I wish you had included me. I wish you had reached out to me. So the numbers are much more.
3 U.S. soldiers were killed in an aerial drone attack at an outpost in Jordan last weekend. The 3 soldiers killed in the attack were Sergeant William Jerome Rivers, 46, Sergeant Kennedy Layden Sanders, 24, and Sergeant Breonna Alexandria Moffett, 23. All 3 were from Georgia. Radio legend Joe Madison has died at the age of 74. According to The Sun, the family of the beloved host of Sirius XM's The Black Eagle shared in a Thursday statement that he passed away peacefully at home. Carl Weathers, a former NFL linebacker who became a Hollywood action movie and comedy star, has died. He was 76. His family issued a statement saying he died peacefully in his sleep.
He's turning Tyson's Foods. He's turning into Tyson Foods.
A hidden, intricate web links hundreds of popular food brands to work done by U.S. prisoners. A 2-year Associated Press investigation found that everything from grains, meat, eggs, and milk had been grown, harvested, or produced by incarcerated people. And their labor finds its way into the supply chains of some of the most recognized brands and largest food companies in the world. We followed as cattle raised at the Louisiana State Penitentiary were transported to a meat processor in Texas. From there, the beef ended up in the supply chains of McDonald's, Burger King, and major grocery stores.
I felt like I had become a slave, a product of the convict system, because everything that I was doing was profiting the prison.
In a sweeping 2-year investigation, the Associated Press found U.S. prison labor tied to hundreds of popular food brands. The goods end up on the shelves of most supermarkets and are also exported.
We know that was a lot. Be sure to tune in each weekend for all the Black news you missed on Patreon. Upgrade for exclusive coverage and analysis. The First Read. See for yourself.